you can type it. So after typing, we need to adjust these alignments. Now you can see in this document, this internet fundamental is a bit centered to the page, right? And Saman Kumar is also a bit centered. University Nothing is also centered to the page, right? So as of my example, it's not, right? So what we have to do is we have to change the alignments of our text in order to a specific requirement, right? So this alignment part is handled by the paragraph group, right? So if you want to do something to a paragraph or an alignment change, you come to the paragraph group, right? For the font changes, you go to the font group. To paragraph changes, you go to the paragraph group, right? So here in Word, we have 4 types of alignments here, right? In the paragraph group, you can find 4 alignments, which is left align, then center, right, and justify, right? So I need to center this internet fundamentals topic. So I'm going to select it and center it, right? So you can see the text will get centered to the page. And also I will select Saman Kumar and this University of Nothing also and center it, right? So you can see the text got centered to the page, right? So with the alignment that you require, you have to select left or right or center or justify, right? In my purpose, I used center, right? So that is the basic way on how to create a topic page or a cover page, what we call, right? So it is very easy when we are using these tools, right? So for example, there are other tools as well. I'm not going to talk each and every one, right? But you can try out. Now, for example, if we need to bold the text, right? We can select this text and in the font group, there's the option called bold. And you can bold it, or else we can underline it, right? Or else we can italic it, right? Or else we can change the font color of it, right? If you need to change the font color, right? Likewise, there are different kinds of options or tools available in this font group, right? So you have to do is use one by one and see what happens actually, right? It is not hard, right? What happens is these all the tools do changes to the font only, right? Nothing get changed, only the font get changed. Their color or their size or their shape get changed, only that, right? So in the paragraph group, actually what we do is mainly the alignments and the spacing, right? That is what we do here, right? So I'll move on to the next part here on how to insert an image, right? Insert an image to our document, right? So here there's a logo here. So in order to insert an image, what we want to do is there's a specific tab for this purpose, right? There's a tab called insert, right? So when we go to the insert tab, actually we are going when we go to the insert tab, there are different kinds of tools that we can use within this insert tab, you can see, right? But to be general, you have to keep an idea. If we need to insert something to the document, we are going to the insert tab. Now for example, suppose you need to add an image to the document, then go to the insert tab, right? If you want to insert a table to the document, go to the insert tab, right? If you want to insert a chart, go to the insert tab. If you want to insert a page number, go to the insert tab, likewise, right? So everything that we insert apart from the text we type is in the insert tab, right? For example, see, you can insert a table, a picture, a shape, a chart, a screenshot, right? Or a header, a page number, a text box, anything, right? All the things that we insert to the document are on the insert tab, right? So for our purpose, I'm going here, insert, then I'm coming to pictures, right? So in the pictures option, we have three different options here, right? We can insert a picture from our own device, or we can use online resources as well, right? So these two features actually come in the latest versions of Office package, and you don't find them in the earlier versions, right? But in any version, you find this device option, right? So you can insert an image from your computer. So in order to insert an image from your computer, you need to have that image downloaded on your computer, right? So I'm going to take an image from my device, right? So I'm going to pictures and I'm inserting from this device, right? So as soon as I click that, it asks me where my picture is located, right? So I'll go to the picture location, uh, and this is the image that I'm going to insert. So I'll click on this image and click insert, right? So as soon as I click insert, you see that image is inserted into my document, right? So now I can work with this image in my document. Now this is inserted, right? But if you closely look on this, what you call this tabs section here, right? You can see a new tab that is appeared here, right? Currently, you can see a new tab called picture format appeared here, right? Earlier it was not there, right? Earlier only these tabs were only there, but as soon as I got the image, a new tab appeared as picture format, right? Now this is very important when we are working with Word, right? When we get something, an image or a chart or a shape or some kind of a thing, insert uh, into the document, a specific tab called a contextual tab appears. These are called contextual tabs, right? These tabs come only with a specific object, right? When you insert an image, these tabs appear, right? If you insert an shape, these kind of a tab will appear, right? So these tabs are used to, these contextual tabs are used to do changes to this specific object, right? Now, for example, I insert an image, so I need to do changes to this image, right? I need to move this image to left side, or I need to move this image downwards, or I need to change the color of this image, I need to crop this image, right? Likewise. So in order to do changes to this image, we use this contextual tab called picture format, right? Closely look, I'm going to get out of the image, right? So as soon as I get out of the image, that tab disappears. But once I click on the image, again that tab appears. So that is what a contextual tab is. It is only for the specific object, right? So with using this picture format tab, I'm going to format this image, right? Or to customize this image according to my requirements, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to move this image, right? So in my example, you see the logo is a bit downwards in the page, right? But in my actual scenario, it is in the middle of the page, right? So I need to get it downwards. So in order to move this image, what we need to do is we need to first of all wrap text this image, right? Otherwise we can't smoothly move this image, right? This applies for every image that you add on Word actually, right? As soon as you insert an image to the document, you can't move it smoothly, right? In order to move it smoothly, you have to wrap text it, right? So that option, that tool can be found in this picture format tab. In that ribbon, you find wrap text option here, right? So what you have to do is you have to come to here and use this wrap text option and move, apply square or tight, right? I'll talk about the other ones later. For the moment, we'll apply square, right? So as soon as we apply this square wrap text option, now I can move this image very smoothly, right? And also when I'm moving this image, you can see now this text is aligning according to the image, right? You can see, right? That is what wrap text means, right? When we add an image, it blends with our text. So when we move the image, the text will go around the image and blend with it, right? So I can smoothly move the image downwards and keep it below likewise, right? So this is a sample on what we saw as an example, right? We can have a heading here and we type something and centered to the page and we inserted the logo on this document here, right? I hope you all are clear about that. If you have any questions, you can use the chat box, right? Because I can't see all the participants here. So if you have any questions, you can use the chat box, right? Right. So let's move forward, right? Right. So when we are working on a document, another important thing is the table of content, right? When we are working on an assignment, especially, you need to have a table of content, right? So I have seen many students, what they do is they manually type this table of content in their Word document, right? For example, they type what is internet and they type page number 3. They type a brief history of internet and they type page number 3. All they do is manually. But actually, there's a tool here in Word that we can automatically create a table of content, right? We don't need to worry about the table of content. It's just a simple click away, right? So I'm going to show you how easily we can have an table of content created, right? So I'm taking a new page here. So in my document here, it's only one page here, right? I'm taking a new page. So to take a new page, there are different kinds of techniques. The easiest way is you can go to the insert tab and take a blank page, right? So when you go to the insert tab and click on the blank page, you can see a new page will appear, right? So I'll show it again. You can come here and insert blank page. You can see a blank page will appear, right? Or else what you have to do is you can press the enter key, and when you come to the bottom line of the your page 1, automatically the page 2 is created, right? Those are the two ways you can take a new page onto your document, right? So in order to have the table of content created, first of all, we need to type something, right? First of all, we need to have some content, right? Otherwise, we can't create a table of content. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave a space here, right? I'm going to leave this page here for the table of content, and I'm going to take another page, right? A new page, and type my content on that page, right? So as you can see, I have 3 pages now here. This is the first page and the second page here, and I took another page, right? Because I need to have some content written in order to create the table of content. So I kept space there, and I'll move on with the typing, right? So I'm not going to waste time typing each and everything. So I'll simply copy and paste these things, right? So first of all, I'll take this paragraph and I'll insert it here, right? Okay. Now, when we are working with paragraphs, actually, right, you need to make sure all these paragraphs alignments are managed by this paragraph group, right? Now, I told you earlier also, right? If you need to make any changes to a paragraph, you have to come to the home tab, and the paragraph group is paragraph group options are responsible for that, right? Now, for example, suppose like this, right? I'm going to take this text. I'll take this text, copy it from here. Like this. And I'm going to apply some paragraph group options to show you how these changes are applied, right? So I'm going to select this paragraph and I'll apply these alignments. Now you can see this paragraph is already left aligned, right? So when I apply the center alignment, you can see this paragraph is centered to the text, right? And when I click on right align, the paragraph will be aligned right. And also when I click justify, right? Sorry, this one is not applying here because it is a copied text. I'll take a sample text. Wait, there's some formatting issue here. I'll take a sample text and show you. Right. For example, see this one, right? When we select a paragraph, right, and we can apply these formatting options or the alignment options as like this, right? We can center, we can right align, or we can justify it, right? Now see the difference actually, right? When I'm applying these options, you need to see the difference when I'm applying this, right? When we left align the paragraph, all the lines on the left side are very perpendicular, very straight, right? And when I use the center option, all the lines are coming centered to the page. When I click on the right align, all the lines on the right side are very straight, perpendicular, right? But when I click on justify, see what happens, right? All these paragraphs are perfectly aligned on the left side as well as the right side. It is very straight and aligned, right? So mostly in our assignments and in our project reports and all our professional documents, what we use is this justify alignment. That is what I wanted to tell, right? When we type a paragraph, actually make sure you use this justify align, because it is very nice and clear to see, because it is even spread across the page and it is even, right? So when typing, you have to make sure that, right? So you can see in this document also, all these paragraphs are justified, very straight and clear, right? All these paragraphs are like that, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm just copying this and applying it here. Take the text and paste it here, right? Like this. Okay, so I'll get the heading also. Our heading will be what is internet, right? So this is the heading. That as well. So is internet, right? So when we type these headings, right, we can actually use the font group in order to create different formattings, right? We can increase the font, right? Or else we can bold the text, right? Or else we can underline it. What you call, you can do it, right? So I'm not going to apply everything here, right? I'm just leaving it blank, right? So likewise, what you have to do is, when you are typing a document, you have to type it in a proper manner, right? Don't think about the formatting, right? We can change it later, right? So first of all, what you have to do is, you have to type it in a proper manner, right? You have to have a flow, right? Have it clean and have a flow, right? So you can see here, there's a flow here, very nicely flown through the paragraphs. So what you have to do is, if you are copying it some from somewhere, you have to copy it clearly, right? If you are typing it, you have to type it clearly with no spelling mistakes and all. We can change it later on, right? So I'll just copy the second paragraph as well. Right. The second topic is a brief history of the internet. Brief history of the internet. So, right. So what I did is, I copied the text from the previous document, right? So now we have some content here, right? You can see, right? So in order to create this table of content, what we have to do is, we need to have a style applied to these topics, right? Without a style, we can't create a table of content, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to apply a heading style to this topic here, right? So in the home tab, there's a specific group called styles here, right? So what you can do is, go to the styles tab and add a heading style here, right? So as soon as I apply this heading style, you see this font gets changed and this formattings get changed, right? And for the second topic also, I'm going to apply a heading here, style here, right? Now you can see when I apply a heading, it is very clear now. It is bold and it is very clear now, right? So first option that we need to do when creating a table of content is to have the heading option or the heading styles applied to our headings here, right? Otherwise, we can't create a table of content, right? And if we want to have numbers in our topics, we can use the paragraph group here, right? And in there, we have the paragraph group, we have the numbering option. So we can click on the topic and we can use the numbering as well here, right? And for the second topic, I can use the numbering too as well here, right? Likewise, you can put numbers if you want, right? It's not compulsory, but you can add from the paragraph group. There's a specific tool called bullets and numbering, right? So I'm going to add the table of content here now, right? So in order to add a table of content, I'm going to the references tab here, right? In the references tab, you can see an option called table of content, right? So there are different kinds of layouts here, table of content layouts. I'm going to just click on a simple layout here and see what happens now, right? As soon as I click on that, a table of content is created, right? Contains what is internet, a brief history of internet, right? With the contents. Now I didn't type anything. What happened was, right, as soon as I click on this table of content option, it automatically detected these headings, right? Because I used this heading style on those topics. So it automatically identified those topics and got them to the table of content, right? That is what happened, right? So this is the easiest way to insert a table of content to your assignment or your project report or any kind of a thing. Do not manually type this, right? It's very easy, right? I'll show you once again, right? In order to get a quick recap, right? What you have to do is just type your content, right? Differentiate the headings and type your content. And then what you have to do is for the topics, add this heading style, right? On the home tab, we have the headings, right? You can apply those to your headings, right? And also if you want a number, you can use the paragraph group and you can use the numbering option here as well, right? For the second topic, you can use the second numbering as well. Just click and it will automatically put the number, right? Numbering is not compulsory. You can use it or you can leave it alone, right? But applying this heading style is critical because then only the table of content tool will automatically detect, right? So I'm going to insert the table of content. I'm going to references tab, table of content, and I'm using the automatic table here. As soon as you click on it, it automatically updates with the headings, right? That is how you include a table of content onto your document, right? Now, for example, let's see if I have another topic, right? I'm using another topic. For example, I'll write topic 3, right? And I'll type something here, right? I'll just type a topic 3 here. So I need to add this topic to here as well, right? So what I can do is I can select this topic and go back to the home tab and add a heading here. And if you want a number, you can add the number as well, right? And go to the table of content above, right? And you can go to the references, table of content, and you can click on automatic table again, right? As soon as I click on it, the third topic will also get updated here, right? Likewise, you can add any number of topics by applying that heading style to your topic. That is what happens, right? So in this document, sample document, what they have done is they have typed this and applied the heading option here, heading style here. And for the second point, they have added the heading style here, right? And for the third topic, they have added the heading style here. So once they go to the table of content option, then the TOC is automatically created. It is very important for you, right? I have seen many students struggle with this table of content thing. So you don't need to think about the page number also. It is automatically calculated and automatically inserted. Right? No matter how the page changes, this automatically changes. Right? So that is how you insert a table of content to a document. Right? So we did on the topic page or the cover page. Then we learned about how to create a table of content. Right? So in order to create a table of content, you need to have some content. And for the headings, make sure you apply the heading style from the home tab. And then go and insert the table of content. Right? So that is how you add a TOC. Right? So hope you will have an idea on how to add a table of content. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask. Because I don't get any response from you. You can use the chat box. So I think you can unmute yourself as well. If you have any questions, you can ask. I see there are 206 participants here. Okay. I hope you all are clear. Right. So let's move forward. Right. So that is how we create a table of content. Right. So in this document, you see another image is inserted here. Right. So inserting an image is very easy. Right. That is now not a big trouble for you. Right. So in order to insert an image like this also, what you have to do is you can so I'm deleting this topic because it's not needed here, right? So I need to have an image here now after this paragraph, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and keep my cursor where the image should be inserted. So that is very important, right? When you want to insert an image, you need to keep the cursor in the place where you need to insert the image. Right, so I'm keeping the cursor here down below this paragraph. Right, so this is where I need to insert the image. So I'm going to insert tab, going to pictures, and then this device. And in my computer, I have downloaded that image. This is the image. I'll click on that image and click insert. Right. So as when I click insert, the image is inserted on the document. And with the image, you get the contextual tab called the picture format. Right. So you can use this tab to do changes to your image. Right. The first change that we should do is wrap text. If we are not going to wrap it, we can't move it smoothly. You need to make sure that. Right. After wrapping it, you can use other options as well if you want. Right. Now, for example, if you want to crop the image, right, there's an option called crop here. Right. Now you can see in this image, there's some name, right? Smithson image, some kind of name in this image. I don't want that part in this image. I need to crop it. Right. So what I can do is I can use this crop option and crop the image. Right. There you can see the crop buttons here, and you can use the crop buttons and crop the image. Right. To a specific level that you want. Unwanted parts, you can crop them. Right. And if you want, then you can add the specific style to the image, kind of a border, right? Or some kind of a shade, right? Likewise, you can apply to your image from this picture format tab. Or else you can do corrections here, right? You can increase the brightness of the image or decrease the brightness of the image, right? Or increase the sharpness, decrease the sharpness, or change the color of the image, right? Likewise, there are different changes, different kinds of changes that we can do here in this picture format tab. So you can use it to make changes, right? Because we don't need another third-party software to do image editing when we use Word. Right? When we use Word, we can use the options within Word to do or edit our own images. We don't need the Photoshop or another kind of a software. Right? The basic features are already inbuilt in Word. Right? So that is how we insert an image. Right? Right. So I'm not going to talk about all how to type these things. Right? You can type these things, I hope. Right. So in this third point, you can see now here how to connect your computer to the internet. And before moving, and here's a list here. List is typed here. So let's see how this list is typed. Right. So in order to type a list in Word, right, it's very easy. Right. I'll show you. Now suppose we need to type a list here. In our next page here, I need to type a list. Right now, what is the heading? How to connect the computer to the internet. This is the topic. Right under this topic, I need to type something, type a list. Right. So what we need to do is when we are typing a list, we need to identify if we are using numbers in this list or we are going to use bullets. Right? There are two ways we can type a list. We can use the point form or we can use the numbers. Right? So in this example, you see it's a numbered list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? But we can create numbered list as well as normal bulleted lists in Word. We can do both. Right? So in order to create a list or get the numbering part done, it is handled by the paragraph group again. Right? In the home tab, in the paragraph group, you have here the bulleting section and the numbering section. Right? There are two options. Right? You can use bullets if you want, or else you can use numbers if you want. Right? Select a method according to your preference. So in this example, I'm taking numbering, and in numbering also there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Roman numbers, A, B, C, D, right? There are different kinds of methods. You can use any one. I'm just using 1, 2, 3, right? Right. So, right. Let's start from number 3. It's because of the heading. I'll type it. Connect to the internet. Right. I'm taking a numbered list here. Right. Okay. So when I start the numbering, you can see it starts with a number here, right? Number 1. Right. So we can, when we type the list, we can straightforwardly start with this numbering and type our own list. That is how it works, right? For example, I'll do it below and show. Apart from this part, right? Just when we take this, we can type straightforward, right? We can take a number and type it. And as soon as we click enter, it jumps to the second line and creates the third number, the other number. And that is how we go through a list. Right? With the enter key only, we are moving to the next point. We can type it and move on to the next point. Type it, move on to the next point. Like this. Right? That is how we type a list. And it is the same for bullets as well. Right? Now let's see how to make a bullet list. If I want to create a bullet list, I can take a bullet here, any kind of a bullet, and type my list and press enter, and the next bullet appears. Then you can type it. Likewise, you can go. It's the same. Right? So what you have to remember is, in order to go to the next point, you have to press the enter key. That is the only thing. Right? So that is how this list was typed here. Right? So I'll just copy it here and show you what has happened here. Right? So here the numbering is used. Right? Numbering method is used. So I'll remove the numbering here. So you can see the numbers will get removed. Right? Then I can apply the numbering again as well. If I want, I can apply it. Right? That is how we add numbers to a list. Right? So you can add the numbers even after typing the list or before typing the list. Right? So for example, I'll take another document and show you, because doing everything in this document will jumble everything, right? So in a new document, I'll show you. For example, let's see, I'm typing a list of names, right? Kasun, then Nimal, Saman, likewise, right? So after typing this also, I can add a number, right? Just select this and then click on the number, and I can add a number. Or else, what we can do is, we can add a number and type the list. We can do anything, both ways. Right? That appears for both these, right? For the bullets and the numbering as well. You can do anything. Right? So that is what has happened here. Right? They have used numbering here. Right? So that is how the numbering is going here. And the important thing here is how to add a multi-level list here. Right? Now you see all these are numbers here. Right? The typing is very easy. It's not a big deal. So we need to know how to take a list like this, 4.1. Now you see the main point is here 4, and you see 4.1 here, right? In that also you have subpoints here, right? So how have they done this? This is also a list. They have typed it, right? So these are called multi-level list, right? Multi-level lists. Multi-level lists. We can create these ones also from this paragraph group, right? For example, I'll show you, right, like this. Now, I'll take an image from the internet for an example, right? I'll go to Google and I'll take a multi-level list example, right? Let's take an image, right? You can see here, there are different kinds of examples, right? Now see, now this is a multi-level list. This is what you call a multi-level list. You see different kinds of levels here. The main point, then the sub point, and there are another points here, right? So if we are going to type a list like this, right, how we are going to do it, right? That is I'm going to show you now. So if you are typing something like that, there's a specific numbering system called here multi-level list, right? In the home group, home tab, paragraph group, we have multi-level list, right? In there are different kinds of templates here. You can use different kinds of numbering systems, right? So for the example, I'm going to use this, right? This point. So with this point, I'm going to type sporting equipment. Sporting equipment, right? So that is the main point here, you see in the example, right? So as soon as I press enter now, what happens is it creates the another main point here. But in my example here, in this image that I got from the internet, what happens is there's a sub point in this sporting equipment. Under sporting equipment, you have baseball. And under baseball, you have baseball glove, baseball likewise. So how we are going to do this, right? So in order to create a sub point, right, you have to remember this, right? In order to create a sub point, what we are doing is we type the first point and press enter and come to the next point, and then we press the tab key, right? The tab key on our keyboard, right? Press the tab key, right? With the tab key, what happens is the main point will be shifted as a sub point, right? That is what happens, right? You have to press the tab key after taking the main point. That is what happens. Then you can type baseball, right? So after typing baseball, I'm pressing enter. Now what happens is there's a sub point in this category now, baseball category. But what I want is another sub point under baseball, right? So to create a sub point, what I have to do is again press the tab key. With the tab key, I'm going further into the list, right? So I can type baseball gloves, baseball gloves, right? And baseballs and bats, likewise, right? So after bats, when I press enter, another sub point only appear. But what I want is point related to baseball, a point like this. So I need to go back, right? When we come into the list, we use the tab key. And when we want to go backwards of the list, what we do is we press the shift and the tab key. That is how you move within a list, right? If you want to go one step backwards, what we do, shift and tab press once, then you can go one step backward, right? So I can type now basketball, right? When I press enter, it's a main point. What I need is a sub point, but then I will press tab key, right? Then it creates as a sub point again, right? So there is a basketballs, then likewise, then I'm entering. If I want to go back, I'm going shift and tab, right? That is the way how you move within multi-level lists, right? So this applies for numbering as well, right? So if we are using a numbering system, right? Now this is the topic, right? If we want 1.1, right? We want the 1.1 number. What we do is we take number 2 after pressing enter and then press the tab key. Then it creates 1.1. Then we can type the topic 1.1, right? Then we press enter, we get 1.2. Then you can type that topic 1.2, right? So as soon as I press enter again, I get 1.3, but I want 0.2. I need to go backwards. So I'm pressing shift and tab. Then I'm going backwards, right? And then I can type topic 2, right? As soon as I press enter, it appears 3, but I want 2.1. Then I press tab. Right. Now that is the way. From the tab key, you go into the list, and from shift and tab, you come backwards of the list. Right. That is how multi-level list works. So in this example, what they have done is they have used multi-level list. They add number 4 and they press tab to create 4.1. That is the thing they have done. Right. They just add number 4 from the numbering, and after that they applied the tab key on this, right? For example, let's do it on our scenario also. I'll just type here, what is the topic? This is the third topic. Fourth one was internet services. Right. So internet services topic. There's some problem with the selection. Hold on a second. Something problem with the mouse. I'll just save it. Okay, now it's working, right? So number 3 is here. and we are going to add number 4 here, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply number 4 here. I'll restart the numbering and apply the heading here and set the numbering value to 4, right? So this is number 4 here. So the next topic is communication services. Right. So what they have done here is they have added number 5 like this and press the tab key, right? And they have created 4.1 according to this scenario, right? So what they have do is, sorry, here they have do is used 4.1 using this multi-level list, right? That is what they have done, right? So in order to create 4.1, make sure you have to use the tab key, or else we can't take this sub point. Never manually type this, right? What you have to do is always type the 4th point, get the 5th point, and press tab, right? Then only it goes as a sub point. After that, you can change the formatting, right? Formattings and the numbering, you can change it, right? Taking the sub point is the critical thing, right? You can take it only from the tab key, or else you can't take the tab key, right? That is how they have created this sub point here, 4.1, right? And they have typed a bulleted list here. I showed you on how to type a bullet list, right? So this is a bulleted list. And next, they have inserted a chart. Now, this is very important, right? When we are working with Word, we need to insert charts on our document, right? So in order to insert a chart onto our document, what we can do is, I'll show it in a different document. In order to insert a chart also, we can go to the Insert tab, right? We can go to the Insert tab and there's a specific option called chart, right? What you have to remember is, if you need to insert anything into a document, go to the Insert tab. That's it, right? So in order to insert a chart, I'm coming to Chart tab, right? So in this chart, Insert chart option, there are different types of charts that I can insert into my document, right? With the requirement, with your requirement, you can select the specified chart that you require, right? All the types of charts are included here, right? So in our example, we see a line chart, I think. Yes, right? So I'm going to insert a chart like this here, right? So I'm taking a chart and it is a line chart, right? This is a line chart. And in line chart, when we select the line chart, there are different types of models here, right? You can see different kinds of line charts here, right? You can select one according to your preference. So I'm using this one, 100% stacked line with markers, this model, right? Or else you can use any kind of a thing, right? So I'll use this model and click on OK, right? So as soon as I click on that chart, a chart will appear on my document, right? So along with that document, it appears a Excel file also, right? So this Excel file is used to insert data into this chart, right? So this is very useful, right? This chart data is inserted from here, or else how are we going to insert the data? No. So make sure you have the required data with you when inserting the chart, or else we can't create the chart, right? So in our scenario, this chart is about the number of email users in millions, right? This is a chart, right? So we can insert this like this. Let's use there are horizontal categories as 2017, 18, 19 likewise, and this side you have 0 to 5,000 likewise, right? So in these category sections, right, I'm going to add 2017, 2018, 2019, 2019, 2020, 2021 likewise, right? I can add the years. These are the categories, and the series are these lines, right? I don't need the 3 series, so I'm deleting these things, columns. I'm using only one. Right? So I can manually add any kind of a number that I want here, right? So that is how you create a chart here, right? You need to create the axes that you need. Then only you can apply your own data, right? I'll show it again, right? Let's take the sample document. I'll delete this and I'll show it again. We are going to insert chart, right? And there are different kinds of templates here, right? You can use anything and click on OK. And then Excel sheet appears, right? And in the Excel sheet, there are categories and series, right? Categories means these categories. Series means the lines, right? So you can edit these categories according to your preference, right? 2018 likewise. Right? And unwanted ones you can delete and you can insert your data. Right? When we insert our data, the chart will automatically move. It's a large number. Let's go with the simple number. Right. Right. So when we insert our data, automatically the chart will align according to that. Right. So in 2017, it's around 5,000. Then it has changed 12,000. Again 5,000. Again 15,000. Likewise, we can see a growth. Right. So you don't need to think about how the data will be represented. Once you add the data here, Word will automatically adjust that. Right. And also if you want to name it, you can have a name here. Email users. Right. So the name will shown here as well then. Right. So that is how you insert a chart on your document. Right. So that is how they have insert this chart in their document. Right. And also another list they have typed here. These are all lists. And they have inserted an image here again. These are also again numbering here. And they have inserted a list here again. Sorry, a chart here again. right? And finally, what they have done here is they have inserted a table, right? So I'll show you how to insert a table onto your document as well, right? So this is also very important, right? So when we are inserting a table also, we are going to the insert tab, right? So in the insert tab, there's an option called table, insert table, right? So from here, you can insert a table to your document, right? So there are different options we can use to insert a table. One is this grid. You can use this grid, right? So when we move our cursor on this grid, we can create a table with a specific number of rows and columns. You can see when I move my cursor on this grid, the table automatically draws in the background, right? Or else I can use this insert table option, right? I can go here and directly specify how many number of columns and how many number of rows I need, right? Or else you can draw your own table, right? You can manually draw your own table. You can use any option here, right? So what I'm going to do is here simply use this grid and create a table, right? A table of 4 columns and 4 rows, right? A simple table, right? So when I insert a table also, you can see something familiar here. You can see a contextual tab here, right? A contextual tab appeared specifically for this table, right? When I get out of that table, it disappears. When I click on the table, it appears as table options there, right? So that contextual tab we specifically use for table related tasks, right? To adjust the table or in order to make changes to the table, right? So when we take anything from this insert tab, every object has a specific contextual tab. For the picture, it has picture tools. For the chart, it has chart tools, right? For the table, it has table tools as well. Different kinds of table tools, right? So here we have two layouts, two buttons here, table design and layout. What I'm using is the layout one, right? With the layout tab, we can work along with this table, right? So in order to work with this table, I'll type some text here as an example, right? So in these cells, I'll type a simple things, name. Let's take like this: ID, name, age, city, likewise, right? So I'll fill some data. 1, 2, 3. Right, I fill some data. So in order to create adjustments or do something, do any change to the table, right, we can use that layout tab, right? If we want to make changes to our font, we can normally use this font group, right? But in order to make changes to the table, we have to go that layout tab, right? Now let's take an example like I need to have another row below this number. Right? Now there's a new student I have to add here. So I have to have another row. Right? So I need a new row. So in order to take a new row, what you can do is in the layout tab, there's a group called rows and columns. Right? So this group is fully responsible for handling rows and column issues. Right? So I'll click on number 3 in this row, right? Not on number 3, on this row. And I will click insert below, right? Now see what happens. When I click insert below, a row is added below where I clicked, right? I clicked on number 3 cell here and I clicked on insert below. What happens is a new row appears below this clicked point, right? So you can take a row down. Now suppose I need a row between 1 and 2, a new row between 1 and 2. And I clicked on number 2 cell and clicked insert above. What happens now? A row will appear above the row that I clicked. I clicked on number 2 row. So a row appeared on the above row. So that is how we take a new row, right? Suppose I need to have another column after city, right? After city, I need another column for gender, right? So I can use insert left or right options here, right? If I click left, a column will appear on the left side where I clicked. See, right? And if I click on left, a column will appear on the place where I clicked and left side of this place, right? So that is how we insert rows and columns. So in order to do that, we need to go to the layout tab in that contextual tab, right? And if you want to delete a row, you can do that as well, right? Suppose you need to delete this row, number 3 row. I'll just click on this row and there's an option called delete in the rows and column group. There's an option called delete, and then you can delete the row, right? And if you want to delete a column, suppose I need to delete the city column, I click on this city column and delete column, right? Suppose I need to delete the whole table, I click somewhere on the table, delete table. The whole table will be lost, right? So that is how you manipulate a table. After inserting a table, you can do changes to the table from that layout tab. Right? You can create rows, create columns, delete rows, delete columns, everything. Right? So in this example, what they have done is they have inserted a normal table, a simple one, right? A 2-column table they have inserted. Right? But if you closely monitor on this table, you can see something special here, right? It is that there is a single row here, and then the table is divided into 2 parts, right? You can see the types of e-commerce is as a single column, single row, and under that you have 2 columns. So how have they done this, right? So this is very simple. When we are working with tables, right? Now let's take a new table, right? I'll take this one, right? In our example, there is B2B, B2C likewise, right? B2B, B2C, C2B, likewise. And this side we have these things. Right. Now, this is a sample of our table, right? So they have typed this, right? B2B on this side and the description on this side, B2C on this side, likewise. right? So this first line, what they have done is they have merged it, right? We can merge it, right? In order to make these two columns a single column, we can merge this, right? That is what they have done here. In our example also, what they have done here is they have merged these columns, right? So in order to merge these columns also, we are going to this layout tab, right? In the layout tab only, we can merge the table also, merge the columns also, right? So in order to merge any cell, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to select the required cells that we are going to merge. Now, for example, we are going to merge these two cells, right? So I'm going to select it. Just click and drag, right? And select those. And then in the layout ribbon, you find here merge cells option, right? So you can click on that and see what happens, right? As soon as we click on merge cells, what happens is those two selected cells will be merged as one, right? So this cell now works as a single one. Types of e-commerce, right? We can center the text, we can do anything, right? So that is how we merge, right? So for example, I'll take another table and show. Now suppose I need to merge these cells, right? I selected 6 cells and I'll go to layout tab and I'll merge cells. Now see what happens. All those selected cells will be merged as one cell, right? You can merge any number of cells like this. Just select and click on merge cells and they will merge, right? So that is what they have done here when inserting this table, right? So these are the things they have done in this document, right? They have inserted images, tables, right? Then lists, then table of content, right? And those stuff only they have done on this document. Apart from that, you can see there are page numbers in this document, right? You see page number 1, 2, 3, likewise. So how this page numbering is done in a document, right? It's very easy. Now, when we work on a document, we can add page numbers to that document using the insert tab, right? It is also in the insert tab. If you want to insert a page number, what you have to do is go to the insert tab and insert a page number, right? And when inserting a page number, they ask us whether to insert the page on the top of the page, the bottom of the page, or a page margin, or a current position, right? So we normally add the page number at the bottom, right? So we can use the bottom and give a specified template here, right? I'll use a normal one. When we click on that, automatically the page number is added and it is incremented, right? You can see page number 1 here, then it is automatically incremented throughout the pages. We need to think about the incrementation part. It is automatically incremented. What we need to do is go to the insert tab and insert the page number, right? And also in that document, you see that Saman Kumar, who the name of the student, right, is written on every page. Saman Kumar's name is written on every page of his assignment, right? So how is this done, right? So if we want to add something or some text to every page of our document, we add them to the header or the footer, right? Now, when you are doing assignments in the university as well, you will be required to add your registration numbers or the names on the top of your assignment, on every page of your assignment, right? So what we do is we add them as a header or a footer on our document. So when we use that option, the text that we use in the header will be applied in every header of the page, right? Or the text that we apply on the footer will apply on every page of the document, right? So I'll show you how to add that, right? So now Saman Kumar here is added at the footer down part of the page, right? So in the insert tab, there's an option called footer, right? You can insert a footer, and you can have a template here, any kind of a one, use it. And what you can do is go to the footer and type the text that you want, right? I'll just type University of Ruhuna, right? I'll type University of Ruhuna here, right, on the footer, and I'll close the footer from here, right? Now see what has happened, right? In my document, first page here, I see University of Ruhuna, right? And on the second page footer also, there's University of Ruhuna, right? On the third page also, it's there. Fourth page also, it's there. So what I add on the footer will be applied on every part of the document, every page of the document, right? So it is common for the header as well, right? Now for the header, I'll apply header also from the insert tab, insert header. I'll just apply Saman Kumar name, right? Now you can see Saman Kumar's name is added on the header here. University of Ruhuna is on the footer, and on the next page also Saman Kumar's name on the header, Ruhuna in the below, right? On every page you can see that, right? You can do this to a logo as well, right? If you want to add a logo to every page, you can add from here, right? For example, let's see, I'm going to the header, right? What I'm doing is erasing this and inserting an image, right? I'm inserting an image from pictures, this logo, right? I'll small resize it and wrap text it and move it to this side, right? And now see, in this document, you see this logo on the header, and on every page, you see that logo. See, right? So you have to make sure that if you add anything to the top of the page, right, it will get duplicated in every other pages as well, right? So when adding something, make sure that you are adding something very important on the header or footer, or else not to type everything, right? That is how this part has been done, right? So that is how this document has been created using Word, because with the limited time, actually, we can't talk each and every tool here, right? Because talking about Word means we can talk along for weeks, right? There are different kinds of options here, right? But as for your own purpose only, that I have talked on the specific tools that you will require in order to create a document, right? On how to change the font, change the paragraph alignments, how to insert an image, right? How to insert a table, a chart, a page number, right? Likewise. So I hope you all got an idea on how to create this document, right? So if you have any questions, you can ask, right? Right, there's a question here. Right. There's a question. Can you explain how to put in the table of content when there's another topic under the main topic? Right. Now, good question. Right. Let's take a new document and do it. Now, for example, let's suppose this, right? I have a topic. Topic 1. Topic 2. Topic 3. And topic 4. Right? Right. These are my topics. Right? In the assignment, these are my topics: topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, right? So this topic 1 is a main topic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to home tab and applying a heading 1 to this, right? And I'll give it a number as well, number 1, right? And topic 2 is also a main topic, so I'll add heading 1 and give it a number as well. Topic 3 is also a main topic. So I'll give heading 1 and give a number. It's number 3. Right. And topic 4 is a subpoint, right? A subtopic of topic 3. Right. So what I'm going to do is I will add this as a heading 2, not a heading 1. Right. If it is a subpoint under this topic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this as a heading 2. And I'm giving a number as well, and it appears as number 4. But what I'm doing is I'm pressing the tab key and giving it the number 3.1. Right? That multi-level listing. Right? As soon as I give the number, what happens is it adds number 4. Right? But I want 3.1. What I'm doing is I'm pressing the tab key. So now this is a subpoint as well as a heading 2 now. Right? So when I insert the table of content in the top now, right? Now see what happens. Right? You get the top table of content like this: topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and 3.1 as topic 4. It is slightly indented also. You can see it as a subpoint. Right? That is how we get it. See? Right? So you have to use the other headings as well. Heading 1, 2. Main topics are heading 1, subtopics are heading 2. I hope you got the answer. I can't see the name, maybe 082. Others, any questions?
So can you simply explain how to use subscript and superscript?
Okay, right. So subscript and superscript, right. Now in the font group, only that option, 2 options are there, right? So subscript and superscript means now when we type something, right? Now, for example, I want to type H2O, right? H2O means the chemical formula of water, right? So when typing like this is not what H2O means, right? This is not the way how we write H2O, right? So this number 2 should go below, right? So what happens is the normal, this number 2 will go below the baseline of a letter, right? It goes below H, right? So that we call as a subscript. If a letter goes below the baseline, it is a subscript, right? So what I'm going to do is select number 2, and in the font group you have a subscript, right? What happens is now it goes below, right? I'll just zoom in. You can see the difference, right? This is the baseline. Now 2 is below the baseline, right? And in scenarios like fourth place, right? Fourth place, then this TH is should go above the baseline, right? So they are called superscript. Here you have superscript, sub and super. Sub means below the baseline, super means above the baseline, right? How can I put header without putting in the first page? Right, with the first page, you can neglect that as well. You can do a simple thing here. Let's show it. Now when, sorry, wait. Now when we work with Word, right? I must tell that before using this. When we work with Word, we can differentiate this document into sections, right? So we can use this document or divide this document in different sections, right? So now we didn't talk about sections here, right? We worked in a single document, right? But if we want to do a thing like having the header not on the first page and on the other pages, we need to divide the document into two sections. That is how we do it, right? So in order to divide the document, right, we can divide the document from here. I'll show you on the layout tab, right? There is a option called breaks, right? In this breaks, we have to create a section break on the first page and divide this document into two sections. Otherwise, we can't do that, right? So I'm going to do is I'm having a section break here on the next page, right? So another page appears as a section break. Now what I'm going to do is I'm adding a header here. Let's take sorry, section was not created. Sorry, wait. Oh, my bad. Something happened. Wait. Section was not created. What happened? Header 2. Sorry. Mankumar. What happens? Hold on a second, something technical issue. Wait. This is the first page header on section 2. What happened here? Hold on a second. I think the section is not created. Now right. Okay. Right. What happened here is, right, you have to create, I'll tell you this, right. What happened here is, right, we need to create 2 sections here. Right now, I showed you how to create sections here. Right, you can create a section from this next page. So what happens is, it creates a new page, right? Then the page is broken into 2, but we can't see this section, right? It is not physically showing that there are 2 sections. But when we go to the header option, right, you can see that which section is what. Right now, this is the first page header section, right? And on the next page, you can see that header section 2, right? So the previous page is section 1 and this is section 2. So I'm typing my header on section 2 and not on section 1, right? And I close the header. So what happens is, on the section 1 segment, there is no header. There's nothing. But on the second page, it is another section. So in that section onwards, you will find the headers. In other pages also you will get. I'll type something here. When you keep on typing, in other pages also you get the Saman Kumar as the header. Right? It is because I divided the page into 2 sections. Right? First of all, you need to do that. Right? Before typing, for example, you can do it from here also. Now this is another section. I can click here and go to layout, break, and create a next new section. Right? And this is another section, section 3. And I can customize this. Right? As my preference, I can customize that and keep on going. Right? That is how it works. Sections, divide it onto section and work on it. Right? Clear? Other questions? Right. When you put the footer, the page number is disappear. Yeah. Normally, when we add the footer and the page number, those two can't go aligned. Right. What happens is the page number will get disappear. Right. That is how it works actually. Right. I'll show it now. When we add the footer, right, we can add the footer here, and when we let the footer, some footer here, and when we add the page number, right, in the bottom, what happens is the footer will get deleted, right? But what you can do is, after adding the page number, you can add the footer here. right? That is the thing you can do, right? Add the page number and on the footer, type the thing you want and close the footer, right? So along with the page number, you see the footer as well. If you firstly add the footer and then add the page number, that will get deleted. First add the page number and then add the footer, right? Right. How to number from second page, from expect first page. Same thing, same scenario. Now I said you earlier, we need to divide the page into sections. When we divide the page into sections, the numbering will also do in the section, different sections, right? Same as for the header. The numbering won't work. Now here, for example, see, we divided this page, no, right, document no into two segments. Now the header is not on the first page, right? On the second page only we have the header. And also I added the page number now. But on the first page, there is no page number. But on the second page, there is the page number. You see? And the third page, you have the page number. Because these are two different sections. The changes you made on section 1 doesn't appear in section 2. And the changes you do in section 2 doesn't appear in section 1. That is what happens. Divide the document into sections and work so that they don't overlap. Same scenario. The page number is not on the page 1. Right? For page 1, I can use a separate page number. I can use top of the page or something. Right? See, in the first page, in the top of the page, page number 1 here. On the second page, there is no page number here. Because this is a different section. The below only the number is there. Right? How to use Roman page number for front page and Arabic page numbers for same issue, same thing. Everybody is asking on the same thing. You have to divide the page into sections. Then you can use Roman number on the first pages and the other numbers on other pages. Right? Now see this one, this page, right? I have used number 1 here. I'll take a document and show it. Let's take a new document. Right. There are 6 pages in this document. Right. So what I'm going to do is after 2 pages, right, from here, I will create a section break. Right. I'll create a section break here to the next page. Right. So you see there are 2 different sections now. Right. Now on the first section here, I'll add a page number on bottom of the page like this. Number 3, sorry. Page number 1, 2. Right, up to here. Right. Right, page number 1 and 2 here. Right, number 1 and 2 here. And on the next page, now here we have 3. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert the page number with a new number. I'm not using continue from previous section. I'm using start at and I'm giving a random number. Right, from number 6. Now see what happens, right? Here number 2, it ends here and it starts from number 6 now. Right, number 6, then number 7, likewise. Right, how it happens is I have divided into 2 sections. Right, now first section I can change this alignment as well. Format this to Roman. No problem. Right, so first page you see Roman numbers 1 and 2. And the other pages starting from number 6 and going downwards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything you do is have to do within sections. You have to create sections and do different changes. Right. Now another thing I will show. Right now in this part. Now see this thing, right? I'll change the layout of this page, section 1 to landscape. Right? Now see what happens, right? In this document, you can see 3 pages are landscaped and other pages are portrait, straight. Right? Now, how did this happen? This is also sections. Right? Now, this is very important for the IT guys. Right? IT department people, they need to draw diagrams. Right? They have VR diagrams and all those stuff to be presented in their final report. Right? So they can't insert those images on this side, on the portrait side. So what they can do is create a section, turn the page other side and add the image. And when we go through the assignment, it is very clear now. Pages are turned, but no problem. Right? So what you have to do is create sections and work. Right? How to add color to one page. Single page, you can add color with sections, right? With the sections, if you have add sections, if you add a color to a page, only that page is colored, or else other pages also will be colored, right? So I'm just adding a color to section 1 here. You can go to design tab and there is page colors, and then you can add a page color, right? So this will be applied to all the pages, right? But you have to divide it into sections and work, right? Otherwise, this will not work. Right? I think that's it for the questions. I hope I answered everyone. Right. So that will be the end of our today's session, right? So on the next day, we'll talk about PowerPoint, on how to create a presentation and how we can present it on a presentation. Right. So I hope you got a good idea on how to work with Word, right? And you can use different kinds of resources such as YouTube and other stuff to learn more on how to use Word. So I think I covered the basic areas on how to help you with that. Right. So let's wind up today's session and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. On the 11th of November, we have planned to conduct the webinar on PowerPoint.